What's up, fellas? Tempster 918 here with Tempster 918 Talks. You know, I like this channel, man. Like this channel, no one knows about this channel. I don't know if this channel will ever even get discovered because I don't promote it. I don't, no tags or nothing. Shit, last video has like no views on it. That was 2 weeks ago. I don't like it that way. I'm just gonna keep on uploading it, and then if it hits, it hits. But anyway, in today's video, it's gonna be a shorter one. I just wanted to talk about the difference between entertainment and information, and what path you should choose when it comes to your audience if you're trying to build an audience online. The two paths, and we're gonna go down the entertainment first. I'm gonna talk about, this is a gaming channel, or kind of gaming, so I'm just gonna talk about gamers and stuff like that. For example, thinking of an entertainer like Dr. Disrespect. And shit, he's probably the biggest name that I can think of right now. Some people who don't even game might even know who he is just because of his entertainment. But that right there is like a good example of somebody who's strictly an entertainer. Like, he's not bad at games. He did win tournaments and stuff like that back in the day, but he's more on the entertaining side than he is on the actual skill side. That's just providing people with a sense of like excitement, fear, happiness, sadness, joy, anger, whatever emotion you're trying to evoke from somebody watching you, like a movie or a TV show, right? So that's like the first side of the coin, is being an entertainer. So if you can captivate people in such a way that you're able to entertain them for long periods of time, whether that be on live streams or podcasts or YouTube videos, that's one avenue that you can go down. And the other avenue is information. Now, I personally recommend going down the information avenue first and then going entertainer, simply because it will take a lot longer for you to cultivate your skills being someone who is an information person. But providing information is how true communities start to grow. When I think about just me personally, when I think about the people that I follow or that I subscribe to, or when I'm on TikTok, and if I'm scrolling on TikTok, for example, I can see a video that has millions of likes on it, and if it's funny, I might like it and laugh. I might even comment or share it to my friend if it's that funny, but I don't follow them. The only time that I follow, and this is just me, but the only time that I follow somebody extremely entertaining is if they keep on popping up consistently over and over and over again on my For You page or on YouTube or Twitch or wherever I'm at. And they just keep on popping up to the point where it's like they're a damn near nuisance. I'm just like, damn, like this person pops up every day. I might as well follow them. I mean, I'm pretty much on their page every day. But that's like the only exception to the rule of where I would say that entertainment will get you those followers. It's just, just consistency on both sides. But when it comes to value, though, I think value distribution is always going to be king. And it's going to get you followers so much faster, because if you give someone entertainment, that's one thing. But if you give somebody information that they can actually apply to their own life, that's huge. Like that's insane. Like that, you can't even compete with that. When I go on YouTube and I go on Twitch or I go on any of these platforms and I'm watching a video, and the video not only entertains me slightly, but also gives me information that I can apply in other aspects of my life, or to the game or whatever it is that I'm doing, that to me, that's an instantaneous follow. That's an instantaneous subscribe, because in my mind, I think to myself, this person's helped me. I think to myself, this person has provided value to me. This person has actually been beneficial to me. This person has actually given me something, you know what I mean? That I can use, not just a feeling that I'll feel for a little bit and then it'll dissipate. So those are the two sides. And when I think about skill, right, I think of somebody like Shroud. For those who don't know who Shroud is, he's a really godly aim CSGO player. He's pretty much like a professional gamer. Like, and he was at the top of the top years ago. Like, his aim and his flicks and target acquisition and all that good stuff was off the charts. Like, it honestly looked like he was hacking what he was able to do. And that right there is the skill category. Like that right there is the absolute pure skill, right? And then, like I said, so those are the two options. And with him, with Shroud, he's really skilled at what he does, but he's not an entertainer. Like, he's really monotone, really chill, really laid back, relaxed. Like, his personality is not jumping off the walls, screaming, excited. He's not really trying to captivate his audience with just his personality alone. He's like your average, I guess, just chill dude. He thanks people for their subs. He communicates the chat, but he kind of talks like how I'm talking to y'all right now. He's not over the top. But that's just another category of but you know, he falls into the category, like I said, of entertainment right there, and skill. Entertainment and skill. I was gonna say the reason why I was like holding up right there is because I was gonna say that skill is a different category, because I was thinking before this video that skill could fall into a different category, because like, you know, you watch people for their skill, like you watch somebody being an entertainer. Like, you know, you might watch Dr. Disrespect because it seems like it's a movie every time you watch him, and then you watch Shroud because it's like he's the top 1% in what he does, but they both fall in the same category as entertainment. Information are the YouTubers or Twitch streamers or whatever that you watch that you're actually trying to learn from and implement into your own life. Another thing too is that when I was growing up, I always said that I wanted to be a professional gamer. Among other things, you know, everybody has things that they want to be. And when I think about it now, I say that I wanted to be a professional gamer because, not because of the skill itself, but probably what a lot of people wanted to be a professional gamer for. The prestige, everybody knowing your name, going to tournaments and everybody recognizing you, and most importantly, of course, the money. That's why I wanted to say I wanted to be a professional gamer. Not because I really wanted to sit there and grind a game for 10, 12, 13 hours a day. Another thing too, when it comes to the skill category, like if you want to go into the skill category and you want to be in the top 1% of what you do in terms of skill, just pure raw skill, like, okay, I want to be the best player at this. I want to be the best chess player in the world. I want to be the best this, that, and the third. There's going to be a long period on both, on entertainment, skill, or information. There's going to be a long period where there's not going to be any gratification at all, but especially when it comes to skill. And the one thing about it when it comes to skill is, even if you're in the top 1% in a lot of things, it doesn't mean that you're going to be getting paid like some of the top 1% do. Because sometimes you got to be in the top 1% of the 1%. Like, I think about certain games like Overwatch or Apex Legends, right? And once again, when I thought about professional gamers, when you think about someone who's a professional gamer or a professional movie actor or a professional entertainer or a musician or something like that, you think of the poster childs of certain places, right? Like your brain normally isn't broad enough, and you don't think that deep enough to think about just how many people are out there doing that thing that aren't getting what you think they should be getting. Like, when I think of being a professional player in a certain game, you know, you're thinking of like the people who are at the very top of what they do and have also built their own audience and personal brand over the years. You're not thinking of, and who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You're not thinking of the professional, all the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of professional players who are in tier 2 or tier 3 organizations who are categorized as professional and who do have the skill to be in that pro league, but they still work full-time jobs. Like, I always thought that, okay, if you had the title of being a pro at something, then that means you were making hundreds of thousands of millions. That means you were rich. If you owned a store, you know how many stores out there, both in real life and digitally, make hundreds of millions a month, and you don't even know that they exist? But when you think of stores, you think, okay, well, the only ones that I think of is like Walmart, Food Lion, Target, Amazon. Any other company must be failing, right? Because I haven't heard of them. But that's far from the truth. There are millions of companies out there, billions, that do huge numbers that you can't even begin to imagine, and you've never heard of them. And it's all because you just think of the poster childs of stuff. So what I was saying, the reason why, that was like a long-winded, you know, little branch off right there, but you got to keep that in mind if you're going for the skill category. I don't want to discourage people if you want to go down that skill category and you want to be excellent. and at the top of whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to become a professional player or whatever. But just remember that you need to also be building an audience on top of that. Being a professional player or being the top 1% in a category does not mean that you're going to qualify for monetary gain if you're looking for that, or the views or anything. I know plenty of pro players in Apex Legends, for example, that only get 20 viewers on Twitch. They get 100 views every video. And I see those videos and I'm like, oh man, like these people are good. Like, holy shit, this deserves thousands of views. But they just never built their own personal brand. And some of them didn't want to, or some of them didn't think it was important. Same thing with entertainment. Entertainment is nice, but personal brand is most important. Think about all the Viners back in the day, the ones who didn't transition over from Vine to TikTok. They had millions of views, millions of likes, and maybe even made millions of dollars on Vine. If they were smart, they still have it now. But when the platform itself disappeared, they disappeared with it. Some of them tried to go over to TikTok and flourished. Most of them that tried to go over to TikTok failed and flopped hard. Who knows how many of them had to go back to working jobs after becoming successful or full-time on these platforms. Once again, personal brand. But tying right back to that information, providing information, people will follow you anywhere and everywhere. Like, if I watch a video and it teaches me how to do something, how to apply it to my own life, I'll follow that person on all social media. Because you think to yourself, I don't want to lose this person because they've given you something. You know, it's just like, it's like if you walked into a store, there's a comedian or a mime or some shit up in there that's doing some dumb shit. You'll laugh, you know, you'll laugh at something, and you'll just walk away. Like, oh, that was funny. Like, but you'll just walk away, right? And you'll forget about it within, you know, a couple of hours. But if you walk into a store and somebody comes up to you and gives you life-changing advice, life-altering advice, they hand you a book or something like that, or they just come up to you, give you a random gift, you're not going to want to let that person walk away without getting to know them. Like, you're going to want to say, hey, how are you? Like, who are you? Like, you don't want to talk to them. You're going to want to get to know them because they've given you something. You're going to go home and there's going to be a piece of information or something that, like, is tangible, and you're going to be like, this is holy shit. Like, I want to know that person. Like, they've given me something. So in conclusion, it all ties back to personal brand regardless, because even if you're extremely good at a certain game, if you're monotone and you don't capture a good audience at a good time, like for example, Shroud, like I was talking about earlier, Shroud was able to capture a certain audience at a certain time, and luck does have a factor, but it's not everything. But he was playing one of the biggest games at the time that had the biggest audiences in the world, and it still does have a huge audience nowadays. Probably still, I mean, competitive CS is probably still like the top esports game in the world. I'm not 100% sure. But he was at the right place at the right time with the right skill and the right attention on him. And even now he's able to still pull 10 to 15,000 and bring in the money that people dream of on his content. But that's because he was at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing to the right crowd. A lot of people don't execute on that level and don't execute at those correct moments. So what ends up happening is that they can build an audience or build a following on a certain game, but the moment that game disappears, you're cooked. Like, if you're monotone, like, and that's fine. I'm not telling you to change your personality. I'm just telling you to build your brand on all different platforms. You don't have to change your personality. I'm just using that as an example. But if you're just like straight up, hey guys, so today we're playing this game, and you're good at the game, that's good. Like, that's good. Because people are watching you for your skill, not necessarily you. And if you're monotone or you're chill, you're laid back on whatever it is that you're doing, that's fine. But you have to realize that when you're like that, it ends up biting you in the ass if you don't branch out. Because if that game goes under, if you quit that game, you get burnt out, you get tired, that game dies, whatever the case may be, you have no nothing to fall back on. Like, no one's gonna care enough. Once again, me just thinking of it personally. If I'm watching a professional streamer, and by professional, I don't mean just entertaining. I mean, like, in the category of skill, like they're in the top 1% or whatever game they play. But they're really, like, laid back, and it's not like they provided value really in the sense of information, just entertainment and skill. I'll join their stream, and I'll watch them play that certain game. But if they switch to another game, I'm not going to watch that. If I wasn't watching them for them because they're personal, or because they were entertaining on top of being skillful, or because they were informational on top of being skillful, I'm not going to watch them play another game. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think a lot of people think like that. And you'll even see this. You'll see people who have 10,000 views playing a certain game at the very top of the list every time, no question, on a certain game. And then they get burnt out, the game dies or whatever. They take a break, they come back. And they're just, and that shit just plummets. They go from 10K to under 1,000, under 500 or some shit, but something crazy. Sometimes they just fall off completely because that's a whole brand new audience. You know, people didn't follow you for you. That sounds fucked up, but if you're not building your personal brand and giving people a reason to follow you other than whatever it is you're providing in that moment, especially if it's just entertainment, you're cooked the moment you decide to move or do something different. So that's just something to keep in mind that I think about. Like, as I'm building my audience on different platforms, I think to myself, how can I get people to follow me? How can I get, like, actual loyal followers, loyal subscribers, loyal viewers, people who share my content, not just because it's funny, even though I want it to be funny, but also because it's informational, because it changed somebody's life, it changed somebody's viewpoint. Followers who are going to follow me because I built a brand. The entertainment and the skill side are secondary. Like, those can come later. But building a personal brand and providing information, those two should be your most important attributes. Those two should be the most important things that you're building. It's that personal brand, so people follow you for you, and information. When you build a personal brand, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. When you build a personal brand, this is when the big money comes in. This is when corporations, enterprises, organizations, sponsorships, and brands and affiliates, everything you could, this is when people start reaching out to you because it's you, because your name is attached to it. Not because of the skill, not because of the entertainment you provided, but because of who you are as a person. That's the most important. And because the information that you provided, that's the most important. Like, who's someone big in the entertainment industry? I can think of somebody like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The Rock, some people call him. If he had just stayed in wrestling and never expanded his horizons to other things, like he provides value on all fronts. That's somebody you should aspire to be, not like literally, but you know, someone who has the holy trinity, who has the big three in the triangle. At the very top, you could say that he is an entertainer. At the very top of the triangle, you could say he's like an entertainer, right? You could say like that's the main thing. He's there to entertain. He's got movies and wrestling and TV shows and stuff. But on the other 2 points of the triangle, it's also informational. He always gives information, ways to change your life, ways to change your diet, ways to change your attitude, mentality shifts, and skill. You know, skill in whatever it is that he does. And like I said, sometimes those can be intertwined. Sometimes skill and entertainment, because you know his skill also is shown in his movies and his games that he's been in and TV shows and stuff like that. So when you make that personal brand and people are following you for you, that's when the big money rolls in. That's when people start reaching out to you, you know, and you'll see motherfuckers in the weirdest commercials, like Snoop Dogg, for example. Snoop Dogg is the epitome of side quest king. That dude, I mean, he been in everything. Man been in TV shows, movies, cartoons, games, ads. I mean, you'll just see him on like a random soap ad. You'll see him on like a random, like same thing with Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. You just see him everywhere. Like you'll just turn on your TV. You'll be on YouTube before you're about to watch a video, click on something and see an ad pop up for Dawn dish soap. And you'll just hear Snoop Dogg in the back talking about some shit. So it's like building your brand is important. Building your brand and providing information is king. And the example of Snoop Dogg, he's an entertainer. And he's also skillful at what he did. And he's been around for a long time. But I think the fastest way to grow in 2024 and beyond is e-learning. E-learning is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm pretty sure within the coming years, it's going to hit the trillions. Teaching people and giving them valuable information, giving them a reason to not only watch but follow you, will always dominate. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Whatever path you want to go down, that's fine. If you want to go down the entertainment path and be somebody like Dr. Disrespect or Dwayne The Rock Johnson and simply provide the best entertainment that you can, you have to do with something that MJ DeMarco, who's a really good author of a book, you have to do something that's called executional excellence. You should strive for executional excellence in whatever it is that you do. But he talks about executional excellence being that if you're going to violate one of the commands of entry, because he talks about an entire like philosophy of things you need, but if you're going to violate the commands of entry in certain things, if you're going to violate that command, you're going to need to remember that you need to be at a level of executional excellence. You need to be in the top 1% of whatever it is that you're doing. If you want to go down that entertainment category, you need to give people a reason as to why they should click on your stuff instead of the millions of others out there that are trying to entertain. Same thing with information. The same thing with information, but information is a lot easier, in my opinion. It's a lot easier to get people to stick because you're, like I said, you're providing value. You're giving people a reason to follow. It's a I would say faster way of doing it. Not the fastest. Still gonna take months, weeks, months, years to get the skill to provide value on that level, to get people to want to follow and stuff. So either way, don't think this is going to take a month. Don't think that, oh, okay, well, if I just go down the value and if I make one video on value that people are going to follow me, like it's not going to work that way. You're still going to have to take time to build up your skills to provide value in an entertaining way. But in the long run, value is king. Information is king. But just something to think about, y'all. You know, just something to focus on, and just remembering to choose the path you're going to go down, and just remembering to choose the path that you're going to go down. Are you going to go down the path of being an entertainer and, you know, being off the wall, personality, crazy transitions and slides and effects and stuff like that? Are you going to go down the path of being skilled at the game? And just because you're skilled doesn't mean that you can't be. You can always, like I said, intermix these. It's always good to intermix all of them, all three of them. That's the trifecta. That's the perfect. That's what you want. You can get all three. A lot of people don't have that, or if they try to do that, it messes up. But if you can master that, all power to you. You're in the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% at that point. But are you going to go down, like I said, the entertainment path? Are you going to go down the skill path to where maybe you're like a lot more laid back and relaxed, and you're not as excitable and jumping and like, you know, extra with your shit, but you're just going to be really good at the game or really good at whatever it is that you do? Or are you going to go down the information and you're just going to provide value in whatever category? And like I said, this is not the end all be all to everything, because it can also depend on the category that you go into. Like if you want to be the top 1% in a very niched down category in the skill department, you might not crack 200 views or over $1,000 a month or something like that, because you've niched down so much that even if you're executing at an excellent level, the audience isn't that big compared to if you want to become a world-class athlete or a world-class musician, something that's way broader. You might still be able to go into that and be top 1% in that and make millions. So it truly depends on the category that you pick. So what I would say is that assess the category that you pick, assess the niche that you're in, the subcategory that you're in, work it down until you're confident in whatever category or subcategory that you're in, until you're confident that you know whatever your niche category, like whatever it is, until you can pinpoint what it is you're going to do, and then choose skill, entertainment, value. Last time I'm going to say it, I'm going to recommend go with value first. Personal brand should be at the top of all this. Personal brand, whatever you're doing, share it on all social media, give people a reason to follow you. Personal brand should be everything, but personal brand on top of all this. First, like I said, I recommend providing value first. As you're learning, teach people what you're learning so they can also implement it in their life. Write books, ebooks, make courses, stuff like that. Make YouTube videos, tutorials, how-to guides, and then decide, am I going down the entertainment category with my value or skill category with my value? But that is it, y'all. That's it for this video, man. I want to order me some Chipotle. I've been spitting all over this fucking camera, man. I've been spitting like a goddamn, what's that, alpaca joint. But that's it for this video, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and call it now. I'm sitting in this parking lot, and I haven't ordered my Chipotle yet, so I'm going to order my Chipotle, and then I'm going to head home and chill. That's going to be it. But, like I say in these videos, hope y'all do enjoy this. Look, and I said this video was going to be short, and here I am almost a half an hour again, goddammit. This video going to end up being longer than the last one, damn it. But let me know what y'all thought, and I will catch y'all all in the next one. Simpson 918 talks out of here. Nah, never mind. I was gonna say I'm gonna start sharing this shit, but I just like talking to the camera and just be venting for real. I don't want to make any promises like I'm gonna have a schedule or something on this. Like, this is just a channel that I'm just uploading to randomly whenever I go in my car and sit in the parking lot. These videos might be a lot more frequent in the near future because I'm going to be starting a new job pretty soon. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have more time in my car driving to and from. Since I've got this phone holder now, I can just talk while I'm driving. But, you know, I'll think about it. I'll think about whether or not I'll uploading more. I think I will. I think I'll upload a lot more on different topics and stuff. Yeah. But that's it, y'all. I will catch y'all later. Love you guys.